We have a story originating from a Brazilian games journalist, my friends. Buckle up, buckaroo. Not IGN, no. This story started spreading like wildfire over the weekend. And frankly, I don't know why, because to me, it sounds like just raw, rampant speculation, which I love dearly, but people were taking it as fact. And so I want to talk about it and offer my 2 cents on this stuff, because I do think it's an interesting topic. What is this story? Well, look at this. GTA 6 review copies won't be distributed, it's claimed. Basically, the claim. Yeah, it might seem obvious to some, but the topic of Take-Two and Rockstar Games locking down review copies of GTA 6 came into the picture recently. This is a game that hardly needs reviews, as it'll sell well regardless of what gaming outlets say. But according to one claim, Rockstar Games and Take-Two have a specific plan for review opportunities. No one will review GTA 6, is the headline. When developers and publishers circulate review copies and codes, there's one key concern on their minds, and that's that they are opening the door to leaks. While reviews and previews are carried out under embargo and sometimes under strict NDA, it's an inevitable risk that accompanies every early access offering. It is true. With the biggest games ever, like especially the biggest trending games that are like hyper viral, you'll see this all the time. I told you guys how like at one point with Starfield, I have a Synology server, like a NAS, that we use to store footage. Because when I play a game for review or critique, I record everything. So if I play the game for 60 hours, I have 60 hours of recorded footage in 4K 60, you know? So I have to have a server to store all of that on. At some point in the months leading up to Starfield's launch, I didn't realize this, but at some point, I had shown like a bookmarked link to my Synology NAS login page. Somebody had gone into that, taken the URL, then tried to hack in and brute force their way into my NAS to get access to the Starfield recorded footage. Like, crazy. For Starfield. Okay, imagine what they would do for GTA 6, okay? Like, it's crazy. Yeah, they hacked into your what? Yeah, my NAS. Yes, it's crazy what people will do, but that's the level of effort they will go to get access to this footage when it's all under lockdown. People are curious. And I can only imagine how crazy intense that would be for GTA 6. So what seems likely to me is that if Rockstar does review codes, which I think they kind of have to, I can't imagine that they just say there's no reviews going out. They technically could do that. Live service games do that all the time, where they don't do reviews early because you don't get to experience the game until everybody is playing. So like, you know, you can't exactly play Overwatch when there's nobody playing Overwatch. You know, it doesn't work that way. So maybe they do it that way, but I would be more inclined to believe that there's going to be like some very, very selective process. They'll only give it to like IGN, and IGN gets one code. They only give it to like the big outlets. They're not risking it with YouTubers. They're not risking it with streamers. They're not doing none of that. That's kind of my expectation, is that they just go hyper lockdown. That's what I think. What is this story though talking about? Well, they didn't really ask. A Brazilian journalist offered thoughts on a podcast about what he thinks is going to happen. And I'll just let this play for you. Now it is in Portuguese, and I realize now that he does look shockingly similar to Sam Hyde, which is just, I had never noticed that until this moment. But I'll just let this play out. And then I'll read back the text that was said, okay? Okay.
Tem a história de que vai ter... Ninguém vai receber chave desse jogo, né?
Okay, I'll just read it as we go through it. It has the story that it will have. Nobody is going to get the key to this game. Do you remember this story? I haven't heard that, but I don't doubt it. This is like a podcast that they're doing seemingly. Can I talk about this? I think I can. I'm going to talk. F it. It looks like there's going to be some kind of review event. They're going to send the journalists. They're going to have the journalists travel, stay for days, so there are no leaks. So there's no risk of leaks, man. Like, everyone is going to play this indoors. Am I sure there would be someone to do that from there? That makes sense, right? It makes a lot of sense. But how many days will they stay locked up there? Haha. It's GTA, man. It's GTA. People will do what they need to do. That is the whole thing. that then started spreading like wildfire. Confirmed! Game journalist says no reviews, which is literally not what he said. He said it appears that they might be doing this thing where they bring people out to play the game behind closed doors where they can lock it down, which is still literally a review. It's just saying if you want to review it, you got to go and basically stay in a hotel and then play it 12 hours a day for a week straight, I guess. But this sounds to me like speculation, frankly. It sounds to me like speculation. I think the odds of this happening quite low. If they're going to skip reviews, I think they do maybe an extended preview where maybe they let you play the game. They bring like very selective media from big outlets like IGN, and they bring them out to play the game for 6 hours straight. And then the next day they let them play another 6 hours free roam in a late game save, just doing open world stuff. And that's it. I think that's more likely than they pay for them to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks to finish the game. Like, I can't imagine them doing that. I just can't imagine. Yes, they're worried about leaks, but I think if they have the option between doing that and maybe just selective previews, and they're like, everybody understands we can't do traditional reviews for this because it will leak. I mean, even games that like nobody was that crazy hyped for leak regularly, like where there's a YouTuber who has an editor, and the editor is like decides to leak gameplay footage even though they didn't record it, even though the YouTuber didn't record it, their editor chooses to leak it. And so it's like everybody down the chain of command. And like, just to remind you, the original GTA 6 trailer number 1, I believe it was trailer 1, this trailer was scheduled to go up. And at least the story goes that somebody at YouTube, an actual YouTube person with access to the back end, saw that the trailer was on Rockstar's YouTube channel and was able to access it and leak it from there. So like somebody within YouTube was leaking it. So even if you're storing your gameplay footage on like Dropbox, bro, there might be an employee at Dropbox that leaks it. They see, oh, this game reviewer has access to this footage for GTA 6. I'll just leak it on 4chan real quick. I wouldn't put it past anybody. Dude, I wouldn't put it past anybody. This is like such another level of craziness and hype. There's just nothing quite like it that's ever existed in the games industry. So like if somebody can get 10 minutes of gameplay footage unedited before anybody else, that's worth thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. You know, just that access alone is extremely valuable. Having preview access for the biggest game of the decade is worth so much money for the outlet like an IGN or PC Gamer, and certainly for anybody else that would be able to leak it. You know, everybody is going to be trying to get their hands on it. Everybody. So it would not surprise me if they go super locked down and super restrictive with the review process. It would not surprise me at all, not one lick. But I think that the level to which people have run with this, and this, to be fair, this article from Insider Gaming does point out it's been claimed by a dude that this is what they're doing. That does not mean it's confirmed, does not mean that that's what's happening. It's just a dude said a thing, which is like the lowest possible standard for being convinced of anything. But I've seen a number of other outlets and certainly a lot of the GTA YouTubers and streamers and TikTokers running with this. Did you see GTA 6 just confirmed it won't get review copies? And they run with it like that. And it's crazy that that's the standard, but that's how we are. Source, a dude, literally, that's what they're doing. I think, again, I do think they'll be hyper restrictive. I don't think this will look like a standard one. Like, I would not expect to get a review code for GTA 6. I think it's going to be, there's like 10 codes globally. I think they give one to people in China. They give one code to Brazilian creator, one code to a European creator, one code to a British creator, one or two codes to American creators, one Canadian. Like, I think that they will break it down like that, and it's going to be extremely selective, and it's probably going to go to big outlets, and if not big outlets, it's going to be to people that they consider to be very, very reliable or like trustworthy, you know, somebody that's not considered to be a risk of leaking stuff, you know. Yeah, Rad Brad, somebody like that. Exactly. I think that that's probably the type of person that would get it. And the NDAs and stuff that you would have to sign to get access to it, I'm sure would be otherworldly, but where it's like, yeah, this is your gameplay footage. We're going to put a watermark on your screen and it's just going to be in your review footage. Suck it up. And if any of it leaks, we'll know it's you and we will sue you with the divine smiting power of insanity. You know, X is Y Killer. Thank you also for another 5 gifted subs over on Twitch. Incredibly generous. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. DSP and Boogie are the only 2 that get codes. Dude, isn't it insane that there was a time where Boogie probably would have been the one to get it? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Like, there was a time he won like trending gamer. Like, there was a time where Boogie probably would have been seen as like a safe enough, reliable bet to give GTA 6 too early. Like, that's not that insane, dude. Like, times change indeed. Yeah, it's crazy to think where we were a decade ago, you know, how things change. Luke, have you reserved your GTA hotel room yet? Yeah, I booked it. I should just email them. Be like, guys, I already booked my hotel right outside the office, ready to go. Just let me know when the game's available. Yeah. I'm ready to jump on. Just let me know. Let me know. Jesus. Anyway, let me finish catching up on these real quick. Luke, painting one mini was not safe. A shelf of minis, an airbrush, looking at brushes made of some Russian weasel's hair, butt hair, not safe. Dude, painting minis, it is a dangerous thing to start, because once you start, you cannot stop. That is absolutely true. GTA Quarantine, yeah, I think it's just, it's going to be very, very locked down. Maybe what they do, I mean, this is the other side that they could do, where they just they do a massive event and they invite hundreds of creators out and they all get to play like 2 hours of the game, and they just hope that that's enough to like satiate them. I don't think they'll do that, because if I recall correctly, Rockstar with Red Dead Redemption 2 was also pretty locked down. They did reviews, of course, for that, but I think the level of hype for GTA 6 is on another planet. So screw that editor Matty used to have. Oh yeah, I remember that whole thing. I felt so bad for Matty. Like, it literally is not his fault. He has an editor that's editing his review, and then his editor runs and drops a bunch of the footage online. It's just insane. Like, but that's why I told my team after that happened, I was like, this is a great reminder that we've all signed NDAs, and I will find out if it's you. And it whatever clout you're gonna get anonymously online is not worth it. Okay, it's just not. My team's all great. I don't think they would ever do anything, but I'm sure Matty would have said the same thing for his guys. It's just, once you're nobody expects to be betrayed like that, you know. Nobody expects it. He took my thing.